Ladies and gentlemen,
What are your qualifications?
boys and girls,
And he said, I'm afraid. I used to smoke, but I gave it up because someone told me that it would take 10 years off your life.
now is the time where
And it keeps getting funnier every single time.
myself and Jim are going to speak.
And so the homeowner, he jumps up and he grabs one of the rocks and he
Not again.
there's a it's a walkout. Yeah, right. It's a walkout basement.
Every Friday night.
I hate this neighborhood so much.
Ta-da-da!
Well, Jim,
Da-da-da!
we're back.
Dude, we don't even need to say that anymore. It's like automatic.
We're always back.
You know
except
what
for
my
the 3
favorite
weeks.
album of all time is?
No.
REM Automatic for the People.
I thought you were going to go the NSYNC, like, We're Back album.
Dude, I missed it. See, as much as you missed the Automatic for the People reference.
It just went over my head.
Right over your head. It's okay. It's a terrible album, and REM's... Well, they're all right, I guess.
All right, well,
But we did it.
good to be back.
What have you been doing this week?
I've watched a few Oscar movies.
Huh?
Because now they're all being re-released into theaters, so now AMC finally got them. So I rushed over. Well, I went when I had time.
I'd like to see that you're just jogging, or you're like, I gotta get there. I gotta get there.
When they Jojo Rabbit and
Nice. You
Parasite.
finally saw it.
Yeah, I saw. And we'll talk about it. It was
Okay.
Jojo Rabbit and Parasite. I saw Parasite yesterday,
Okay.
and then so I'm down. I'm eight of 9 of the Best Picture
I
movies.
saw that.
And,
Yeah, I saw your rankings
and yeah, so
on to Twitter.
did that and work, and Sundance is this weekend as well. So yeah, you got all that going.
Sundance. What are you doing for Sundance?
I wasn't. Honestly completely forgot it was this weekend.
Yeah.
Until they all, because we do a lot of stuff here for Sundance.
You know what sucks if you don't have anything actually in Sundance?
Going?
Sundance.
I hear a lot of fun things about it, and like going to movies and
No.
no.
You stand out in the cold. You hope that you get a ticket. They sell out. Any of the good ones they're already sold out.
Yeah.
They're not going to invite you to any of the parties. It is a local film festival that does not care about the locals.
Okay.
And it's terrible. And then all the people that go up there, dude, no.
So next year when we get media
That's
credentials,
different. If you get credentials, it's different. If you get when I was in Napoleon Dynamite,
Yeah.
way different than like the other years where I'm like, hey man,
I think we can get credentials. I just didn't. I completely
it's fine.
spaced it.
I'm not a
and
huge Sundance fan,
I've never gone, so
and if I do go see a Sundance movie, I watch them here and
At
at the Tower or
yeah.
whatever.
But let's go ahead and introduce our guest.
We, that guy.
We waited a
Dude,
long time.
I actually have something set up. Actually,
Okay.
if I can.
Okay.
I was going to say we have someone very special in studio today.
Yeah.
Someone that we have been trying for a very long time to get in studio, and we are so proud to have this talent in studio with us. Brady, it's so good to see you again, buddy.
Oh yes, well that's very flattering, and I don't know how to follow that. And once we bring him on, I have a funny story. I don't know if you listened to the show today, but
I've actually because I was going to tell you because the girlfriend left town.
Yeah.
She's out for 5 weeks.
yeah, oof.
And I have cleaning every corner crevice.
So you've been busy.
Oh, not only busy, it's like to the point where it's like, well, if I'm going to do this much, then I'm talking every corner crevice. And so I've been doing that kind of cleaning.
So I have a story to tell, but I didn't want to, because I really respect our next guest, and I didn't want to bring him. I didn't want to bring him on like
I just
when
worked
nobody.
with him. Worked with him. He's a huge pain in the butt.
When nobody was listening to the show. We had over 60 listens this last week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so 60 people listened to the show, which is the highest we've ever been, which is like awesome. So we want to thank you, but
We thank the 4 of you listening 12 times each. We appreciate that.
and but yeah, my childhood was much revolved around this certain person trying to tell all my
Dude, I'm not
my
able to
friends
get him back in the car to get him home.
my friends from elementary school say, "Hey, did you watch Don't Look Under the Bed?"
Yep.
That the older brother in the movie is my uncle.
Yep. And now his Cokeville Miracles on the Amazon Prime right now.
Yeah, and I have it on Blu-ray.
Ooh.
And I also, another one that I usually bring up with people is like,
It's Nate, okay? Nate's here.
Nate Stevens.
We finally got him in I was like, we had someone else booked today, and then they kind of, at last second, not that they wanted to be more prepared and didn't know that we watch movies, and they wanted to take and that's cool.
Yeah.
And so then all of a sudden I was like, I've been helping Nate move, and so me and him have been hanging out all week anyways, and we actually shot a short this week together. That I love it. Nate loves it. So, but anyways, and so all of a sudden I'm like, Nate's like, well, why don't you come by and help me make Run to Moms? I'm like, I got to go to the podcast, and we don't have a guest. I'm like, wait.
Nate
just happened to have the night off, which is nice.
So it worked.
Don't usually get Wednesdays off, but
and normally, he's all like, I'd love to come on the show. When am I going to come on the show? And I'm like, after March.
After March. Yeah, I happen to be. Am I in the last Stevens member to make it on the show?
No, right now it's Tersha and Mimi. They have not made it. So
yeah.
Well, I wasn't last place.
Well,
and then when I did try to get him on, he's all like, dude, you got to give me more notice than that.
Well,
I'm a busy man. Come on now.
You're a hard
I work
worker.
for real. Let's do this.
And
he's a chef.
And
that's true.
Another movie that I always go to for people, like when I'm trying to impress the ladies.
I wish you'd impress the ladies on my end.
I bring up Pixel Perfect.
Oh yeah.
And because that was
that was back in my romantic lead days.
Yeah,
I'm not quite that anymore.
And the date scene is the one I always pull up on YouTube. Like, this is my uncle. And
I got to be honest. I've been making movies now for
6 days,
24 years now.
Wow, I'm 25, so that's a while.
I've been doing it for a while, and I started off with the romantic lead roles, and I hated them. Because they were, I gotta play the romantic lead, and now I'm playing the old like mountain man where you gotta walk up the mountain.
Those are actually
and
cool.
then you gotta skin a live, or not skin a live, skin a rabbit
person. I mean,
but it's like, but then you sit back on the days where you got your hands all bloody because you've been digging in the dirt. And you've been hiking up the mountains. And
Nate's actual
face
what?
For where's that beautiful blonde that used to play my girlfriend? You don't get that.
Well, what's the phrase? Is like you live long enough to be the romantic dream.
I think the rule to life is you're only pretty once. You get it once. So just
I'm still waiting.
Jim's waiting.
It's coming.
It's gonna come.
I'm gonna be a very handsome 60-year-old.
It's gonna happen. Oh yeah, I think 60 is gonna. He's gonna work.
I'm gonna win.
So. We're excited to have you on, Nate.
Thanks.
And the story that I had, so I let it slip on the show on the drive today that my
let it slip.
My passion, my secret passion in life has always been to do stand-up comedy one day. And Spence challenged me.
Come with, dude.
To come up with something next week and then eventually push me out on stage at one point. So
I can help you.
What day I'll go with?
How many you want to just play ringer? Like we could totally you could totally bag it, and I'll give you some jokes, and you can tell me. I won't rat you out.
No,
totally just go in and call them your own.
Yeah, and so that's something that it's funny to see like the progression of this show because of us hanging around with all these.
We got 60 listeners now.
Yeah, and
61.
Nate.
I haven't listened to this before. No, I'm just kidding.
But it's funny because like where we both kind of started with the show, and like you weren't really creating anything. You weren't really.
Yeah, I was miserable, man. I was dying. I literally almost died, and people are like, "Yeah, I know. If you would have not cleaned your life up, you would have died." I'm like, "No, I was dying. I was going to die."
And you're pushing out shorts every.
Dude, we did it we turned around in 2 days.
It was literally like a fart in a conversation.
Yeah.
We were sitting around on lawn furniture in my living room.
Lawn furniture and then a mattress on the floor.
With a notepad
and I pull out a paper and I had my iPhone and I had my little handheld.
And my buddy Spencer Belknap and I, who's a local artist, we've been working this idea for a little while, but then Jim comes into play and took it a whole new direction. But
I'm just yelling at him. I'm like just yelling stupid stuff, and then he has to respond to me. And then I cut me out, and we put in whatever. Well, I'll let people watch it when they watch it. But it worked out great. And then but within an hour, I had what I needed, shot, done. Nate was done, and I was leaving to go edit it, and Spencer's like, I ain't never seen that before.
Well, and it brings me back to the point is that Jim's creating stuff, and now I've gotten to a point where I was like, I might want to try something.
Do something new.
This might be something like we'll
Love
see.
It.
You're almost over the hill. What are you? 24?
25.
Dude, I got
25.
100%.
You're not married yet.
All right.
Oh, your parents must be so disappointed.
You got my support 100%.
So might
ladies,
be something
he's not married.
Might have to be something that you and I go out and like just go to dinner and.
I think we should take Gemini.
Gemini
should go out on a date.
Gemini is a good third wheel there. So,
yeah.
But
I watched weird movies this week because I have Parasite and I kept pushing it off, going, well, I have it, and then because other ones popped up, and I'm like, oh, like Honey Boy.
You watched Honey Boy?
I got to see Honey Boy, and it just randomly I was like, oh, hey, I've been wanting to see this, and I got to watch Honey Boy. I got to see the new Terminator.
Oh, okay.
Like just randomly stuff. Motherless Brooklyn, and so
I've heard about that one.
And so I kept going, and I was just going for, and I'm all like,
before we get into those, we have Nate here.
Nate who?
And I want to talk to Nate about...
No, do whatever you want. You're the boss.
Well, because I'm sure a lot of people want to learn about Nate.
How were you in Cokeville Miracle? Wasn't that your favorite role you've done?
You know what? It was the first time I was allowed to be
a bad guy.
A bad guy. Yeah.
He was a bad guy.
And it was a learning opportunity for me. I look back at it with... like I said, it was a learning opportunity. A lot of fondness because it introduced me to a new sense of artistry. You know what I mean? A new side of it for me. A new area to explore. I mean, obviously, I'm not the most religious person, so and that's usually the fans of that type of a film, which is okay.
And he gets recognized for that one more than any of them.
It's true.
Especially when you got that big, huge grizzly beard right now.
You look, not saying that you look like the guy that would bomb a elementary school, but you look like the guy that bombed the elementary school.
Well, that's funny. I look like the guy that'll bomb you in elementary school, but I'll make you the most delicious roast you've ever tasted.
And have a little bit left in his beard for breakfast.
It's true. That's what a beard is for. But no, I mean the Cokeville Miracle was a great opportunity.
Didn't you win a Best Actor award?
I sure
for
did.
That? Where's that award? Where's that Best Actor award? Didn't you win one?
I don't.
Aren't you the winner of Best Actor?
It is true.
And where does that trophy sit? Is it in your trophy case?
It is not in mine.
Oh, okay. Weird.
It is not in mine.
I feel like Jim's trying to poke something.
He's
out of him.
trying to poke a bear, and you know what? On this kind of a format, in a film industry that is very small, that I could fit in my bathroom.
Yeah,
I'd rather not burn.
Yeah,
that
definitely.
Instant message me if anyone wants to know. I'll tell you.
And
no, I mean, there were a lot of people, a lot of great, talented people I was able to work with. There was a lot about it that I really truly enjoyed. Is it my favorite movie? No. It's
my favorite movie that you.
No, here's what it is. I think that the true Miracle, just told in its true story, would have been a lot more
and then pushing it down
powerful.
Your
face. Yeah, a lot more powerful.
I think they should have spent
to let the audience make their mind up.
Yeah, that half an hour they were doing that. They could have done the half hour of your explaining why you did it.
Well, I mean, yeah, I think there was.
That's just how I was.
There was a difference in the final product.
I mean,
to my
but I
personal
can't. You know,
preference.
The audience.
He makes his movies, so I'm not bagging on him. I mean, he gets to make another one. He gets to make another one.
Makes money.
So. He keeps making them, and good for him. And there, there's a community here that's meant for that format.
Yeah.
But I think that when outside filmmakers look at the type of films we make and they see that as an example, I think it gives that kind of cookie cutter, just almost soap opera vibe. That's the kind of films that the Utah community makes.
Yeah,
and I think that's just a little off-putting to the real filmmakers that are trying to make it not so much of a religious sensitive.
Yeah, you want to make it a little bit. That's a good point because I remember when I watched that, I was like, so. Obviously, our whole family would love it just because you're in it, and
right.
But I remember leaving it thinking, and I've seen I grew up watching most of these actors and working in it, and I was like, oh, like Nate, and then that was the first movie I ever saw you in a big screen, like watching you on a big screen.
Good for you, because Aunt Marge, it was on a big screen, and I was half naked doing a love scene.
What?
Yeah. She's like,
that?
you could have warned me about that one. That was the Good Humor Man. Yeah, I brought her to the premiere of that. She saw me doing a couple of love scenes, and she's a little disappointed.
Nate scared all the little kids, like all them little kids.
Yeah.
They all hated him.
Yeah, Cokeville Miracle, there was a little kid. He peed himself. He cried, and he never came back. I felt terrible, but I got an honest performance out of those little kids.
I think on IMDb that there's a fact on there, and like so many people find it so fascinating that was the case of you just terrifying little kids.
Well, because the director originally he goes, we're going to shoot you first, and I said, no, you're not. I said, you put the camera on the kids. Don't tell them it's on the kids. Don't tell them we're rolling. I'll just stand there. You tap me on the shoulder when it's time to go, and I just started screaming at these children, and they.
And then
the look of terror on their faces,
rolled, and then the cameras rolled.
The terror on their faces was absolutely real, and that was because I directed I directed the director that I think that was the better choice. Because if they see me do it, and then try to pretend that they're scared from what they just saw,
Yeah,
it would have come off wrong.
it would have come off wrong.
yeah, that makes sense.
And I probably have ruined these children psychologically
I'm
for the rest of their
PTSD,
life.
man.
But the film reaction was real.
That's always fascinating.
Which movie that you've done is your favorite? Like your favorite?
Punch Drunk Love.
But did you like making that movie? Did you?
I liked
movie?
making that movie.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I was doing that with three of my best friends, my three older brothers.
John Lofgren?
And it was an amazing opportunity.
We got to spend so much.
We spent so much time
They
together.
cut our part down to really small, but we were there.
We shot that thing for 8
weeks
months.
and weeks, man.
Yeah,
And I don't know if you've ever spent that much time with my brothers, but holy shit! Sorry, I
we
swore.
got paid for a week just to roll around on mats to learn a fight sequence that we never had to use. And then when we showed up, Paul saw it and he's like, "No, no."
Yeah, I think by far that was my favorite one to shoot. Not my favorite performance.
Hanging out with Fiona Apple all the time.
Fiona Apple dragged me out to the middle of the dance floor at the rap party saying, "Hey, I want to dance with you." And I was like,
brothers.
She's like 90 pounds and nothing, just gorgeous, just talent, just
hanging out
fuming
with Carl
from every
Weathers,
point.
Little Action Jackson. That was cool.
My goodness.
Yeah, that was
I mean, those are the moments that I look back on when, like, Justin Timberlake was trying to get into the rap party,
Yes,
and I
he
said,
was.
"I'd let you in if I liked your music." And now I like his music, and I'm sitting back going, "Man, I should have been friends with
Should've
Justin
been cool.
Timberlake.
Should have
I
let him
should
in.
have been cool, man."
Was that NSYNC?
That was
That was back in the day though when he was rocking.
back in the day when he
denim,
was-
the denim suit.
And the white tips and
But you've also done some cool, like you did The Good Humor Man, which was a Showtime movie where you were the star of Kelsey Grammer,
Jason Segel, Jorge Garcia.
a bunch of people in that one. And
Yeah.
Nate was the lead. I remember we went out to the Calabasas Film Festival.
That was the one that Marge.
You
She,
texted me.
yeah, she's.
We're out there and like the entire table's like up for best ensemble, best this, best that. Like everything is
Sean
like,
Astin's running the
except,
awards.
except
Oh,
for Nate.
weird.
Nate's the only one at the table not nominated for anything. And it
Sean
was-
Astin's running the awards, and he tells this joke that just bombs, and the room goes silent. And Jim Smoot leans over to me and says,
He's famous.
"He's famous," and it echoed through the
Through the room.
auditorium, and it got a bigger
killed
laugh.
him. It
So
killed
Sean
him.
Astin got so mad at Jim.
Yeah, he wasn't happy about that at all.
Really?
Yeah, he even said something. He's like, "Oh, thanks a lot, man." And I'm like,
Yeah, and Jim and I left in the middle of
we did.
the award ceremony to go.
Walter
We took
Landau?
a safety meeting. Let's call it that.
Landau?
Walter Landau was getting his Lifetime Achievement Award, and we're sitting next to the girl that played my girlfriend, who's a Maximo, gorgeous girl, Cameron Richardson, and she's like, "You guys are gonna leave?"
Yeah.
And we're like, "Yeah." And she's, "You guys can't leave."
We're gonna beat traffic.
And
out
we
of
did. And
Calabasas.
no, we just went to take a break. We took a safety meeting, and then we came back, and then she lost her award and
she took
immediately
off!
took off.
Oh no.
Just like, oh, okay, so
I see how it is.
as long as you're up for an award, you can leave.
Yeah. Well,
We walked in right in after Landau too, and they're all like,
Oh, yeah, we
take
backed
pictures, take
off.
pictures, and then like we're trying not to do it, but we kind of got pushed in. And they're like, "And who are you guys?" Like right down, we're like, "Nobody,
No, yeah,
you
no,
don't
nobody
want
heard
to
me.
know. You don't want to know.
We're with craft services. We're good.
We're the food.
We're the best dressed
We
craft
rented a
service.
car. Remember that we actually that little
No,
red,
yeah,
that little red car?
that was back in the days I was
Yeah.
making money. I was like, yeah, let's rent a car. Let's go to L.A. Let's
No,
not talk about the
another one
drive.
of Nate's my favorite stories that Nate did is this one we can tell. So he did a movie called Jumping for Joy, where at the end of the movie he was supposed to attempt a suicide scene, right? And he read the script and they were going through all these rehearsals and how important it is, that he needed to prove why this character would turn into someone that would commit suicide because he had everything going for him. And so, Nate the whole time has this, character arc where he's building up towards where you'd believe that he'd try to kill himself. Only they cut out the suicide scene from the end cut of the movie.
So I just look like a total wuss through the
Just like a
whole
little moody little baby.
Yeah.
highlight of my
I don't
film
like my
career.
life.
Okay. And are you currently working on something, Nate, or what's
I have a few things in the works. A bit like you've been talking about. Jim's been working on a few things. I just starred in one of his shorts. I have a David Lynch
He
film.
wore my my underpants.
Yeah, I did. I
shorts.
shot
okay.
a David Lynch film. Well, David Lynch produced.
Yeah.
And
all those Badland commercials are awesome, dude. If they've never seen those,
I did an ad campaign for Badlands
and I'm like,
hunting gear.
And I'm all like, what are they doing to your voice to make it sound like that? He's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, dude, you're so greasy. Like, that's one of my voices, and I'm all like, oh.
I gave it my southern voice, and I talk like this a bit. So it's a little different.
And then I remember, and obviously you had 2 shows on History Channel.
Yeah.
Well, AMC, and then one was the History Channel.
Same film company. Yeah.
I really enjoyed the American West. I remember watching that, and
is that the one where you were Robert Ford?
No, that was American West. American West.
Dave was Jesse James, and you were Robert Ford, and Robert Ford kills Jesse James.
Oh yeah, and everybody on set, they're like, Is this going to be hard for you? And I'm like, I've been dreaming about this since I was 12 years old. He's been a jerk to me since. No,
the only better death scene than that is because your grandma used to all the time. I'm afraid I'll find you dead in a gutter, like forever.
I love all of our grandma voices because they're all the same.
She's like worried. She's like, he's gonna be dead in the gutter. So we actually were all in a movie called what was that? It was a Josh Tawaliti movie, but photo group something where Dave was doing the photo. Anyways, so there's a part where there's basically Dave does this movie where he sees the pictures from like murder or killings or deaths and everything, and he fascinates like they're his friends, right?
Yep.
So they had to take all these pictures of Nate being dead
in a gutter. I was laying there the whole time looking up at your Uncle Dave, going, "Hey, Mom was right.
I'm in a gutter.
I spent 9 hours in that gutter."
How was that?
Cold. The thing is,
being dead. People don't being dead because you just have to lay there,
and they don't shoot it in the summer. You're never dying in the summer. They're dying in the fall.
Always
You're dying in the early spring. There's still a frost in the air.
The Seagal movie I did.
Yeah,
I had to lay there.
We were all in that too.
I had to lay there, and I swear someone just peed. And I had to lay there for 8 hours just in some dude's urine.
Yeah.
That's speaking of that Seagal movie. So he sends out this memo to everybody saying, "You do not speak to Mr. Seagal.
You don't look him in the eye.
You do not look him directly in the eye." And I have scenes with Mr. Seagal. I'm supposed to have a fight scene with him.
If he sexually harasses you, he's not sexually harassing you. He's just friendly.
Yeah. If you ever get an opportunity to work with Mr. Steven Seagal, I recommend highly turning it down.
Yeah, he's not a good dude at all.
Speaking of stories that never panned out, remember when you almost got me into a short? And it never happened.
Yeah, no. There are times. Because there are people who like to talk a lot of big
shorts right now.
There are people that talk a big game, and there are people that come in with a lot of money, and they come in with a script, and it
falls apart.
It just falls apart.
That's why what his buddy was saying, he's never seen it, because normally if you have 3 filmmakers in a room together and someone pulls out a piece of paper and says, we're going to brainstorm, we're going to shoot something tonight, normally 4 hours later they're yelling at each other and they have 3 different scripts and then nothing gets made.
Yeah. Because the usual film is like, okay, well, let's map this out. Okay, what's your schedule for the next 3 months?
Yeah, and instead I just went and I put it through, and they gave me their ideas, I gave my ideas, and then once we all had kind of an idea, then we just started just shooting it, and then at that point it was too late, because then I'm like, he's ad-libbing it, and at this point, so then I would just...
I ad-lib everything.
Yeah, and so I'd throw back on top whatever was working, and then I was able to take, because we had enough of a story arc of it, that we were able to, just fix it.
To refresh everybody, this is funny, because the show was still around. This is back when I was living out in West Valley, and we had just finished an episode of the movie hour, and I got home, and I walked in, and I get a phone call from Nate. I'm like, hey, it's like, do you want to be in a movie? And I'm like,
yeah.
Sure. I've never done this before. So, yeah, my buddy's, I'm going to give you his contact and you let him know. And then I got that, and then got the information, got the script and everything. And then all of a sudden, a few days later, his PR person or whoever was like, yeah, we're having some reshoots. We'll contact you in the future. And then
actually what happened was I sat down with the producer and director, and just the apparent fact that they had no idea what they were doing. I literally sat there and said, good luck to you guys. I'm pulling me and all my contacts out of this, because I'm not gonna embarrass anybody.
I got paid a whole bunch of money not to do Touched by an Angel back in the day, because they used to come. There was Touched by an Angel this year, and you could only do one episode per season
Same
as
with
a
Yellowstone.
local hire. And I got hired on as a week player, which is full whatever it was at that time. I don't even remember what it was, but it was a full week, which is like that's the best basic you can get as a local hire. Well, then because the director just loved me, he actually had a script for me. He wanted me. He's like, I want you to be in my feature that's coming out. He just loved me. Then all of a sudden the part got written down to three days, and he's all like, and then it got written down to half a day. He's like, I'm going to do other episodes of Touched by an Angel, and I don't want to use you up on a half of the episode. So they paid me for the week. I get residuals for every time it got played. Never heard from the dude again, and never had to be in Touched by a Monkey, and and still get paid for it.
Huh. And so that's what happened. I was always curious how
No,
It just goes away.
Here's the thing, Brady. I'm in a position, fortunately, that I can turn things down.
Yeah.
Not that I don't need the money, and that's not what it's about for me. I like to do things that make sense to me. I like to do things that'll be fun for me. I like to do things that are going to be fun for the people that support me and are around me.
Mm-hmm.
And this one didn't make sense.
Of course, yeah.
And so I pulled the plug, and I guess I could have called you and laid out all the details, but I figured it would all come out in maybe a talk show.
That'll happen. Like a lot of my short films, if anyone's ever seen them, I make weird, and I think they're hilarious. They're dark and they're about me, and I think they're hilarious. And a lot of people are like, you make them just to be weird. I'm like, no, they actually have a point. And there's a specific point, and they're like, well, what is it? Because you don't tell your audience. I'm like, that's fine. So the one that me and Nate did is straight comedy, and it's finally like the people that hate my movies. They're all like, dude, you finally made one that I can watch. Good job. Can I help you with anything? And I'm like, oh.
Which is funny because my role in this, it's comedy, but it's completely dramatic.
It's completely
dramatic.
Which is why it works for what I do, is because it's a complete dark. Yeah. It's just the way that we did it makes people laugh at a dark comedy when they probably shouldn't if they thought about it.
Well, we could spend the whole hour probably spitballing back and forth like this.
Yeah, we want to spit at each other? Dude, that's weird, dude.
Spitballing is different.
Did you see the Jazz just crushing when you were in that
31-17, but it's not sports.
They're going to be like the Utes and just drop it at the end of it. Why are they doing that? Let's talk about the movies you watched.
Let's talk about the movies that we watched.
Yeah. I saw a bunch. That's why I'm going through. I don't want to miss because I saw a bunch of them.
So you have that extra time now.
Yeah, well, yeah, I got some extra time, but I'm trying to get work. But my problem, so here's my problem now is I have some like really good jobs that I want to go for.
Yeah.
But since they're big jobs and they're like promotions for where I'm at, they want me but it's like a week or so, and they're it's not like next Tuesday, next Thursday, and so I have other people that are like, if you want a job, I get you a job.
Welcome to the 40.
And so so what do I do? So I say, hey, yeah, go ahead. Why don't you hook me up with the job, that I can have, and then next Tuesday they call me and say, hey, come in for this manager position. And I'm bailing on my buddy that just hooked me up at
That's what happens when you're 40, dude. Yeah, you have to wait. So, and I just used the word dude. Yeah, that
so
shows
I'm doing
that
a lot
I'm 40.
of editing,
dude.
And I actually screwed up because we were done. It was done. Our short was done. All I was doing was like fixing sound and doing like color correction. And when I was doing some titles, something popped in my head today, and all of a sudden I sent Nate like this thread, and I'm all like, dang it. And I sent him this thing, and he's all like, what's this? And I'm all like, I'm going to have to go recut it now. And he's all like, why? And I'm like, because.
Jim is like a drug addict with a scab. He's going to pick at it.
So just got to fix everything.
I saw Tolkien.
Tolkien. Is that the one that came in the summer where it was like where everything was based off of the war?
It's so the guy that did the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, and it's
it was terrible.
Okay.
And he kept having these hallucinations, and I don't know. It was not a fun movie for me.
Terrible.
Yeah. But it was I don't know. I guess I shouldn't be so mean, but it looked cool.
Yeah.
And then Terminator. I had the same problem with Terminator as I did with Rambo.
I'm at this
Rambo
point.
Was not fun.
Why was Rambo, why was First Blood, and why was the first Terminator so much better than these new ones? Because now they've lost what made, because they were scary.
Well, they're jumping into a format.
And now they're going into
script
boom,
writing.
bigger. It's like.
Well, at this point, I'm just going to stick with the original Terminators and just call it. Because I haven't seen, and I'll be honest, I've seen before when I started this, I had never seen the first one, but I'd seen parts of the second one.
The first one's scary.
Do you know who he gets his clothes from in the first Terminator? Bill Paxton.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
But it's like that, and that's what I don't understand why. If they want to go back, they should take it back to that. But instead, like as soon as within the first 8 minutes of the Terminator movie, I'm like, all they did was bigger, and I'm like, that's why it's not getting any better. Nobody cares about
They're Michael Baying it.
bigger.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Bigger...
There's a new format for that style of action movie, and it's I think they just jumped right into that cookie
cutter. Could you imagine if they
platform.
want to reboot Terminator, if they actually want to save that franchise, go back to like Alien with it.
Yeah, well, and to kind of compare
Same thing
it
with
to
Rambo.
Compare it to something that rebooted it, but it was. I'm not saying that this franchise has the aura of Terminator or Alien or Rambo or anything, but the way that they rebooted Bumblebee, like the Transformer.
I watched Bumblebee like 2 weeks ago, and I'm like, why didn't they make the other ones like this? I could tell who's who.
Yeah,
you can actually tell who's Bumblebee and who's.
There's characters and there's people behind things.
They look like they're supposed to.
Yeah, and it's not all about like the explosions and making it popcorns and all that stuff.
I saw Jumanji, the new Jumanji.
Okay, I saw.
And
that.
I hated the first Jumanji with
That's
Robin
right. I
Williams.
took Tambi.
But the second one, I was like, huh. And the third one,
you hated the first one with Robin Williams.
I didn't like it at all.
I grew up. It's nostalgia for me.
My whole life, I'm like, just roll everyone get around that table and roll as fast as you can. You win. It's over.
You were the worst game player.
I'm so glad you're here, Nate.
Kevin Hart playing
Danny Glover.
Danny Glover was by far the best thing.
Right? Did you find it like almost?
The rest of the movie I didn't care about.
Did you find it almost annoying that The Rock was trying so hard to be Danny DeVito?
He was. Yeah, he tried to. Because Kevin Hart was so good at what he was doing, the rest of them just should have just went.
The
and
problem
done whatever.
is trying to play an iconic person.
But dude, Kevin Hart nailed Danny Glover. Like,
well,
of course. I expect him to.
To kind of go off, and there's a point that The Rock isn't a powerhouse actor.
Sure is handsome though.
But as soon as what happened when they kind of switched bodies again, and then Awkwafina became Danny DeVito. I was like, oh, that's what happens when a real actor.
Thanks for ruining the plot. I haven't seen
a real actor becomes Danny DeVito.
You've ruined Jumanji.
You've ruined Jumanji for me, Brady.
But
I was going to watch it tomorrow afternoon with your grandmother for my birthday.
I have a Peanut Butter Falcon story.
Okay.
And I don't have any problem telling the story, and I will tell it. So,
are you going to use fake names?
Grandma goes once a week to dinner with all the other brothers and sisters, right? That were my dad's brothers and whatever. Okay. They all go to dinner and they all meet and they make sure she comes with. And so they just, part of the family, they said, do you have any suggestions for movies? And she's like, I just saw Peanut Butter Falcon. Oh my gosh, what a great movie and a great story. And they're like, oh, okay, great. So they go home, right? Come back the next week livid, completely livid that how dare you suggest this movie to me? They didn't watch it. They didn't see it. They simply saw that it was PG-13 and flipped out on Grandma for suggesting such trash.
So that's interesting because I also heard...
Holy crap, dude.
I also heard today that Spence's wife, who I enjoy a lot, she's very nice to me.
She's a great lady. Good answer.
That was a tight walk answer.
She apparently she saw Peanut Butter Falcon with her friends like back when it came out, and she didn't like it. And the only reason I can kind of wrap my head around somebody not liking Peanut Butter Falcon is if they see the way that Shia treats. Is it Nick? What's his name? Zach.
Well, his actual name is Zach.
Yeah, Zach.
So.
If seeing
you mean treating like a normal person?
Exactly, but they think it's rude. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, everyone was treating him that way, and he was the only one that would go stop doing that.
Yeah. He was the only one that would treat him normally.
And that's why it was such a beautiful story. And
exactly.
And that's what I've told you. That's my snub of the Oscars.
And I got to be honest, I've ran into Shia LaBeouf a few times in my career, and I am not personally a fan of him personally.
I've heard this many times.
But his performance in that was top notch.
I like him as a performer, and I think he gets a bad rap on a lot of the stuff because some of the stuff.
It's because he's such a dick.
But
he really is.
So, Honey Boy.
Yeah, you saw Honey Boy. It's the story of his dad.
It's not though. It is and not.
Okay.
It's a semi-autobiographic story of him and his dad, and as him growing up as a child star and having his dad an alcoholic, basically. So I'm sure there was embellishments, but yeah, basically it was Shia's story of and he didn't even know that he had PTSD from the trauma that his dad put him through until he got arrested one of the last times when they were normally they're just throwing him in jail and everything. He finally went somewhere and someone was like, yeah, well, no, we're not putting you in jail. They're like, why? because you're suffering from PTSD, and we need to fix your brain. Like you're, and he had no idea, and so it was kind of him. So the story happens with him and his dad when he was younger, but then there's also an older version of the kid who's trying to deal with
everything,
being 12 and having the world thrown at him, and still living in a trailer park because dad wants to save a few bucks.
Interesting.
Yeah, and then he grows up like angry.
Yeah. This is interesting because I remember even Stevens is
that's the part of that is.
It was a part of my childhood. I really enjoyed watching
Even Stevens.
Yeah, the kid that he almost got.
That's great.
Yeah, and I know that there's a story there, and I don't know if you're able to share.
We did.
Nate was almost
one of my
a lot
first
of characters. We go through a lot of Nate was almost pyro.
I'm the almost guy.
He's like the Floyd from Dumb and Dumberer.
Yeah,
he was always like this guy or this guy.
No, I was Harry. Not
Harry.
Lloyd.
That's right. Yeah.
I'm the almost guy. I'm almost everything.
So close.
No,
Holes. You're almost in that one too.
Yeah, no, and that's my Shia LaBeouf story.
LaBeouf.
He took Holes from me last minute. Like they were literally writing out contracts for it, and then he decided he wanted to do it, and then he decided he wanted to do Charlie's Angels too, which is great because I was being signed for that one too. And so it became a reputation for him to
come take your movie,
take your stuff.
Yeah, and so we'd see each other in auditions, and he'd be like, "Oh, am I here to take another one from you, Stevens?" And I'm like, "That's just inappropriate, okay? I have feelings."
Okay, and then finally I saw Motherless Brooklyn. Okay, I really wanted this movie to be good. This was the one I was hoping, because everyone.
Which is this one again?
This is the one that Edward Norton. It was his passion project, and this was the one that didn't get. It hasn't made a lot of money, but it was apparently the one that he's been trying to make. It's like a old school film
Edward
noir.
Norton's been doing a lot of those passion projects.
Yeah, he's been doing a lot, but this is the one he's been trying to go. And I'm I was hoping because it didn't blow up, it didn't get any Oscar or anything, but it was I heard so much about it before. And I was just hoping this would be one of those movies that I just attached to and going, you guys are wrong. So I watched this movie, and it was long. It was there was so many moving parts to it already that it made it kind of hunky already, and already he was trying so hard, and I'm like, Edward Norton used to be really, really good. I used to respect him a lot.
I think he still is.
And then on top of it, he put in Tourette's syndrome on top of it, over the top,
he's overacted
so bad.
Well, it's like they say, never go full mentally handicapped. You know what I mean?
But it wasn't even a normal Tourette's. He just got tics. It was he had a specific kind of Tourette's it was annoying.
Yeah. Okay.
And it was you already had all this other stuff going on. Did you really and I know where it came from. He was and he's got Tourette's.
I can do this too.
I think it's the constant search for Oscar. Everybody's really trying to just stretch that rubber band before it breaks.
Oh, I was mad. I wanted to be
Walking Phoenix there. Did you watch Joker?
I did.
Did you like it?
I did.
Okay.
I watched it with him.
I don't think I enjoyed it as much as everybody else did, but I do enjoy celebrating the criminal in such a way that almost makes them human. That's the same reason why I liked Good Time. The same reason why I liked Uncut Gems.
I heard that you went back and watched Good Time and you liked Good Time better than Uncut Gems.
I did, but it also made me like Uncut Gems even more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I sent you something on Twitter, and it's kind of wrapped a bow on this whole Shia LaBeouf thing. Is that one of the Safdie brothers just penned to direct a movie with Shia LaBeouf?
So I didn't answer you, but I did see that
with Shia LaBeouf, which
I will see it. They're my new favorite director.
Yeah, which I'm intrigued by.
Well,
I think it's just one. I think it's just Benny Safdie.
Yeah, it's just the one. They're not the brothers.
Benny's the one that was the brother in Good Time. The one that I said that's one of the directors. The one that plays the guy.
Oh, it's just one. I thought it was. I thought they were the brothers.
Yeah,
they are the brothers, but I think he's just doing solo.
Yeah, they do because they also do documentaries. They do all sorts of stuff, and they turned down. They were doing the new 48 Hours, and then they just walked away from that and so probably you're like, oh, whatever, man, I'll do it. So, and then I saw Richard the Eastwood movie.
Richard Jewell.
I saw Richard Jewell.
Did you like that?
For so much going on, it didn't seem that very long. All of a sudden, it was I was watching the movie. I was just kind of and all of a sudden I was like, wait, there's no way
finish.
This. Yeah,
they finish, right?
How long have I been watching this?
It's only.
I lost a lot of respect for Clint Eastwood when he talked to a chair.
Did you what? I don't know that one.
Yeah, it was a political thing, and
okay.
I just was like,
ever since he talked to the chair.
No. I mean, it's such an old man thing to do.
Yeah,
I can't wait till I'm that old though. But I'm like,
where you can excuse that. Oh, forget about the chair incident. I just was having a little
Grandpa's
laugh
crafty's paid to be
judgment.
eaten.
Clint Eastwood's like face, where it's like he's talking through both of sides of his mouth, but his mouth is closed at the same time. He's
Yeah. Well, I mean, Clint Eastwood he's a legend, and I mean, don't get me wrong, but when you start, I don't know.
Well, everyone, I mean, like, eventually Bruce Willis made enough bad movies where you're like, okay, Bruce, I'm not going to just watch your movies just because you're in them. Edward Norton, you're real close to me, like, because you've been
I think it just goes to show that it's not just the one person that makes a good movie. There's
I told you about
collaboration.
the jerk thing. Like, you got to be appreciative and, like,
be a good guy.
Yeah, like you hear the
And
stories
then
of
be a
Bruce.
jerk.
You hear about Bruce Willis
be a
not
jerk
being a
when
good
you
dude.
retire.
Yeah.
Edward Norton not being a good dude. And it's like, and so now you're like, now no one's helping you now that you're struggling.
Or like you're just really talented, like Joaquin Phoenix, and they're like, "Oh, we'll just deal with you." But
until they won't
Well,
anymore.
even then,
Yeah.
I mean, I did the Crow 4. Well, I didn't do the Crow 4. I booked the Crow 4, and I didn't actually film it.
this is,
That was the
I feel
other
like
guy.
you could write a book. Like,
the other guy.
The
It
Almost
would
Guy
be it
by
would be a
Nathan
short
Stevens.
stories. That would be all it would be.
And then you get to the point where, like, all right, we're gonna let you write the book, and then your editor's like, actually, we got another guy to write it. But
Yeah, you know what? We're gonna get somebody else with better.
better.
That's somebody that's better with
His
words.
like
name's
your
also
idea.
Nathan Stevens. It's crazy.
we like your idea, though. We're gonna take your name.
We're gonna
No,
take your idea.
No, that's me. That's
we're gonna
I
take
would-
your
that-
idea and we're gonna
No,
switch it
that's-
completely.
That literally happened to me a bunch of times where they put me through 5 auditions for Donnie Darko 2.
Yeah.
Me and Nate went in 5 times. They kept bringing us back, and I kept ad-libbing stuff in, and to
he
the point,
and I both kept ad libbing.
Well, the reason why I say that is because Nate got in the movie, and
I did.
because there's 2 brothers, and we're going in for brothers.
I booked it with
5
Brian
auditions,
Templeman.
and like stuff that I was saying in the auditions out of my mouth was now in the script. And they hired another dude to play his brother, not
Ryan
me.
Templeman was the other dude. Amazing, talented
good old
dude.
Ryan.
Don't
He wants to
discredit
get
Ryan
some.
Templeman. He's a
first
good
guest
dude.
He's a Canadian. We don't.
He's a
trust
Canadian,
Build
but-
a wall.
but
Build
there's-
a wall.
in the north.
You know what? There is a level of trust I have for that Canadian.
I finally saw the movie you've been wanting me to see
Jojo Rabbit.
all last 4 months.
The movie's got such a because I just watched it again recently too, and I'm like, the movie at the beginning of it's fun, and then it kind of you're like, okay, it kind of gets
I
going.
fell asleep halfway
and it
through.
kind of
Yeah,
he fell asleep, and then but the end payoff.
Yeah, the
Like
power.
all of a sudden, you don't even realize that it like sucks you in like that. Then you're like, because it's kind of like, and I wasn't as fascinated by it.
Yeah.
But then I don't want to give anything away for people who haven't seen it. But he takes his Thor Ragnarok, like, because all of a sudden it's like a kid's movie where they're trying to believe that he has a fake, and all of a sudden the kid kind of like looks around and mom's not around anymore, and all of a sudden he's in a war zone and stuff's blowing up around him, and it's like serious all of a sudden.
I just didn't find it as fun as Wilder
Well, you
People.
didn't finish it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's
I
my point
agree.
exactly.
But you don't. That's
I
not the
watched
payoff?
No,
from the
well,
beginning.
oh.
From the beginning to the end of the Hunt for the Wilder People, I was
Yeah, you're just
engaged the whole
He
time.
woke back up, like he missed all of it, and then he, like right when the scene that I'm talking to,
Yeah.
Oh no, I
as soon
fell
as
back asleep. I didn't see the end.
But he didn't see like he wakes up just as me going, oh, and he's like,
No, I was groggy. I didn't see.
go back to sleep.
I didn't acknowledge a thing.
Not a thing.
Well, and I'll say this is that I liked it a lot. Like it did hit me emotionally, and that scene when it happened, I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
Like as soon as the butterfly landed on the ground, I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
Because I remember it was like, oh, I know where this place is.
Yeah.
Like, and then I knew what the
and they've
setup
been
was.
and you didn't realize that they've
like,
been setting it up the
yeah.
whole time, but they had been.
Yeah, and I just like at that
That's
moment, I
2
realized,
movies you guys have ruined for me today.
I didn't,
I'm making
I
notes.
didn't say
Don't come on the
anything.
movie hour. We ruin movies.
I didn't say
We give them
anything.
so much time though, and we
This is
literally
an old
we've-
one.
Yeah, we've.
Oh
given,
no, I've been out of touch, man.
we give people time before we completely ruin their childhood.
I'll say this though, it took me a while to get used to the humor.
Right.
And I'll be honest, I'm one of those people that like is super sensitive when it comes to like what. I enjoy
he
humor.
was a good little Nazi boy.
I enjoy humor, but I also worry like it's weird about me. But I also worry. I was like, oh, people are gonna find this offensive. I don't find it offensive, but I start worrying.
I don't understand why people put so much power in words like that. Like
Here,
Well, it's like
power
your
to
grandpa.
word.
Like he was an English professor,
Yeah.
and it's like you're the one that chooses to find the definition offensive to
Yeah.
the word.
yeah,
You're the
it's
one
true.
that
but that whole
chooses.
beginning scene where he's just like, "Give me a Heil Hitler."
Yeah, and it's so funny, and it's awkwardly funny,
That's
right?
all you got is that. Give
like,
me a Heil Hitler.
Try harder and harder, and then it's funny how like Taika's kind of or Hitler's story arc in this, right? It's just like it's obvious, like it's his, like best friend, you know. It's like, oh, he's a good guy.
Yeah.
He's his idol, and then slowly as like history,
his book on Jews.
well, his as history kind of becomes more real to this kid, and we're realizing how awful a person. And then Taika really kind of shifts.
Yeah, it
shifts into the real Hitler.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, okay, here it is.
Yeah.
I'll say this is that.
That's why I kept saying.
Isn't he Maori and he's playing Hitler?
Yeah,
he's of the Maori people of New
He's
Zealand. Right?
Yeah,
He's of the
Hitler.
Native New Zealanders, which are the Maori.
Yeah, and
Yeah. I didn't know that's what they called
Hitler.
Yeah.
But yeah, it went from like this, like the kid they have to go to Hitler school. There's nothing that you can do about it, and so the mom has to support it. You got to. They're in war torn. They kill you. Like that's Germany, and they have to. And so that's just like the reality of it. And then all of a sudden it turns from like it's like like how Hitler like great. So all of a sudden it's like real stakes, and all of a sudden you realize he can make big budget movies, and you're like, whoa!
And then it really falls on the relationship between the kid and
that kid was
girl.
Awesome.
The girl,
that girl was good too.
She was very nice.
Great.
I understand. And here's what I'll say: is like I don't get why Laura Dern is the favorite to win supporting actress after watching this movie, because I think Scarlett Johansson does so much more.
I told you she's better in this than she was in
Marriage Story, but like I think she's better than Laura Dern in Marriage Story, and I love Marriage Story, and I think Marriage Story is a better movie still. She does a lot more in this.
She did a great
job.
She
plays the dad, and
she
and
did.
like that whole scene.
She got to do a cool part,
and she has that accent, and she does. Yeah,
and they had a payoff and everything. Yeah, I agree, dude. I'll get on the team, Brady.
Yeah, and it kind of like, and I don't know why I bring this up. You remember when Mahershala Ali won Best Supporting Actor in Moonlight?
Yeah,
he's only in the movie for like 10 minutes.
Yeah,
that's kind of how I feel like this.
Anthony Hopkins, Hannibal is only in it like 12, 13 minutes.
True, I didn't even realize that. Yeah. Well, it's this is kind of what I feel like, because Laura Dern's character is not really in Marriage Story too much.
I can't. Dude, they're still monologuing, dude. I try not to remember.
But yeah, so I saw Jojo Rabbit. I think I have it fourth in my of the 8.
Put it about where I had it, but our lists are like almost flip flop.
Yeah.
But the all the middle ones are about the right ways. But you just like literally, it's like this.
Did you see Parasite yet?
I haven't. I own it.
Yeah.
I
saw it yesterday.
Okay.
And
I hear it's good.
Is it subtitled?
Yeah, completely.
That's why I haven't actually
So
turned
it's
it on, because these other ones have popped
it's like
up.
The
and I'm
Host.
Like, read a movie, or which I haven't seen Little Women yet. I haven't seen
Little Women
Judy.
just on principle.
Yeah, that's why Little
But
Women's
I'll
my
watch.
last one that
Yeah.
I need to catch. And here's what I'll say about Parasite. It had me laughing a lot. There's it's hard.
I thought it was about a ghost kind of thing. I thought it was...
So the idea and it's not a spoiler to say what the premise of the movie. The premise is it's a parasite. So a guy gets into a very rich family.
Yeah, the different cultures.
Yeah. So his family is in the poor of poor in South Korea, and his buddy who's going to college is like, "Hey, I'm leaving for America for the next few months. My friends, I've been teaching them English the last few months. I need you to go and fill my spot and go teach English." So he gets his job as an English teacher. They think that he's in college. He's not. He's just a kid living in the slums teaching this little kid
he's
English.
slumming it.
And then he starts noticing, it's like, okay, they have a driver, they have a maid, and they have an art teacher also there at this house. He starts getting these other people fired in this house. And then he starts saying, "Oh, I know this friend. He's a really great driver, and he's very talented. It's his dad." So then they hire his dad as the driver, and then he gets the artist fired. It's like, "Oh,
so he's investing
his family into this family."
So he's the parasite?
Yeah, he's the parasite, and his family kind of uproots this family, and then there's a lot of heart to it. But like it's hard because this family is not a good people. They're not good people.
I hear that the diversity between the two families is quite...
Yeah. And then the rich family are complete idiots. They're,
and then I hear it also doesn't go the way you think it's going to go. That's
No,
I've heard a lot. I mean, I've heard way too much about it.
And the ending is sad in a way, but it's hard to kind of feel sad just because the family's they're not good people. They're convicts and they do a lot of bad stuff. But I thought it was fun.
So it's a family home evening time.
Definitely, yeah.
Obviously,
there's I wouldn't not watch it with your family.
With my family?
I
have a cool family. There's certain members I wouldn't watch with.
Well, even that, like the other day, like I had a great conversation with Trish. I found out that there's a slang for people like me.
What's that?
decent human beings.
Oh.
DHBs or something like that. Like, why, because I've had a big problem with that. Is like, like the whole purpose of the religion is even in Utah is because they wanted to believe what they wanted to believe, and they left the country when they came to Utah. It wasn't a part of the country.
Mm-hmm.
So why is the first thing they do is turn around and like tell everyone don't believe us? It's like, why aren't they more like inclusive? And all of a sudden, my own sister, who wasn't like that for a long time, all of a sudden she was all like, you're a good person. Why are we pushing these people out? We should. And I'm all like, thank you, thank you.
She never said that to me.
No, well.
You haven't talked to her. And I've had some Ben's watched a couple of my shorts. I've had him watch a couple because I'm getting ready to do that showcase, and Ben gave me great. But I was like, thanks, Ben.
I wouldn't watch this with Grandma. There's a scene that's kind of.
Which one? Parasite.
Yeah,
there's a couple. Yeah, Grandma.
Well, because it's up for an Academy Award, I guarantee she's going to want to see it.
So we were watching Punch Drunk Love with Grandma at the premiere, and there's all sorts of. He calls a porn sex phone line. That's how we get brought into the movies, because we're thugs work for the guy that works for a porn. That's who he's calling, is a hooker on the phone. No problem with any of that talk. The second F-bomb hits, she's just,
and of course it was Mike D.
It's
me.
It's a good thing that we don't understand the Korean language, because there's a lot of F-bombs in this movie. And
that doesn't bother me.
It doesn't. But
I went to Hong Kong for 9 days.
Oh,
and
so
I think I pissed
language?
off a few of the locals enough to know that I know what it means.
South Korean and Chinese.
I'm not Chinese, but I mean, you know what I mean? Like, just in any other language, when somebody uses that you can tell.
But I saw those two. I'm at 8 of the 9. And
you just got Little Women?
Little Women left. Let's talk. I guess we got to
get our movies in, don't we?
Close the movies that we talked.
Man, that's
we watched as well.
So. I was trying to think of what I want to do next week.
I know exactly, and it's gonna tie a bow on the year that we've had. So.
Okay, good. All right. Well, then, which one do you want to start with? La La Land.
Start with La La Land.
So Brady picked La La Land. You seen La La Land?
Yep.
This is one of my favorites, and I shouldn't say I don't like musicals, but normally I have a hard time with musicals, just simply because I understand them back in the 50s and 60s, because I do believe back then they did just start singing for no reason. But I never once, I do start, but nobody got up and danced with you in one of your songs.
Yet.
But that's my problem, is it's not believable. It's not, you know what I mean? It's not, but, and when I saw that first opening scene, that big number in the parking,
on the freeway.
Oh man, I was so pissed off. I was like, I was in the movie theater, and I'm like, no, because it's gonna be Moulin Rouge. It's gonna be. I'm like, I was pissed. And then the first thing, the bird comes, boom, and I was like, oh, okay.
All right,
wait a minute, hold on.
Let's pause. Yeah, I remember.
And then the two songs that keep coming back, they hit me. They got me.
The last song that Emma Stone sings about, like, following your dreams or whatever. I can't. Where was I? That was right as soon. So then this kind of ties a bow on the family. I had just gotten the internship with Utah Jazz right when that came out, and Grandpa had recently passed in that area, and I lost it in the theater, because I remember when I came home from my mission. And I had no idea what I was going to do in my life, and I wasn't really sure what. And
you couldn't sell crack.
Yeah, well, it was funny because I was a car salesman, and and I was just completely miserable, and I was at a family party.
I hear the critique all the time. Well, they weren't really the best singers, and I'm like, that's something that I actually enjoyed, that they weren't, that they were believable. That's why I liked it, just because they were believable.
And I was kind of going through this thing where I was like, I didn't want to go back to school just because I didn't want to see all my friends again and kind of face the fact that
I don't want to go back there,
and didn't finish the whole mission thing. And I remember just being super.
I didn't bring it up. It wasn't me.
It wasn't. I wasn't really kind of going because Grandpa.
You mean we're flawed people.
Grandpa knew that I was a writer, and I did sports journalism. And I remember one day during the one of the family parties we used to have, and he pulled me aside. He was like, "Hey." So he asked me, like, what are you doing? Like, what's, I was like, and then I was like, I don't know right now. I'm just trying to figure it out. I was like, I really liked it when you did this whole sports, like, I liked reading your sports stuff. Like, you should do that.
Because your mom paid him.
And then
give him some, come on, Gramps.
And then I went back to school, and then obviously passed away a year.
And he was in England. I mean, he went around, and like both your grandma and your grandpa, they both could have been like, they theater background. Your grandma can
Go
sing
for your dreams,
and she writes plays, and Grandpa, they would have him do public speaking all over the state.
One of the most brilliant orders.
He could have gone and been a public speaker if he wanted to, but the insurance wasn't good enough. I don't know.
And so that scene just kind of it hit me harder than most, just because it just I remembered, I was like, holy cow, because like I said, the internship I got was great, and it really kind of helped me get to where I am now.
I just liked how they would set it up where it was easy, where you would think, okay, obviously she's meeting him, and then boom, he blows right by her, and I'm all like, yes.
And yeah, and I like their relationship
and I liked
romance
how it ended.
And
no happy ending.
A lot of people. Here's the thing with this movie: a lot of people didn't like it because it ended so poorly.
Yeah, but it's true. It's my belief system.
And
you're not going to get your dream girl or your dream job. Pick one or the other.
And I argue that they did end happy. Like the people,
you're right,
the two of them ended
happily, but not
together.
The way not the way.
I think people who they have a hard time distinguishing their thoughts on the movie because they left the movie feeling sour, so therefore they think the movie's bad because they didn't end up together. Whereas I think because the whole point of the ending of the movie is that she's off married and she's really successful actress and whatever, and he's got his jazz bar.
That's all he wanted,
and
he wanted that stool on the wall. And I agree. I liked it. And see, this is when I was talking to you before. I said I would like to talk more like the filmmaker aspect of it, because I would like in the way, and you're like, well, we'd have to be careful how because for instance, in this movie, you couldn't use Ryan Gosling and use him in another movie. However, the director, if you wanted to talk about Whiplash or if you wanted to talk about First Man, I would say that that would be open, because you keep saying, I'm like, well, then if you did you remember back in Whiplash, it's something that the director does, and it's specific to the movie.
It's not Denis. I'm trying to think of.
I can't. He has a I don't know. I'm bad with that stuff, but he's got one of those names, and then when you say it, yes, him.
Damien Chazelle.
Damien
Chazelle.
And this was supposed to be Miles Teller or whatever the dude's name was.
Really?
Was supposed to be Gosling's part. But he's an idiot. Yeah, he's a d-bag. So he didn't want to work with him, and now all of a sudden he's making another movie with Gosling, and I'm like, it's okay to be a good dude.
What'd you think of La La Land, Nate?
You know what? I grew up in the theater world, and it was everything that I remember being a theater geek.
Dude, it was no Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
No, it wasn't
Hey,
Oklahoma.
do you remember when you
Oklahoma? I did come see you do Oklahoma. And no offense, but that's one of my least favorite
Oklahoma.
plays.
Some of them, that's where I didn't do a lot of the musicals back because I didn't like Hello Dolly, and I don't.
No, I'm not a traditionalist when it comes to theater.
Yeah.
I just got back from New York.
I did Assassins. That's a musical I did.
I like Straight Place. I just got back from New York. I saw Jake Gyllenhaal do a Seawall in the Life. It's 2 45-minute monologues, and literally changed my.
That's where I want to see Marriage Story. Is that way?
Yeah.
No, but I mean, it was it was done so well, and it kept my attention. For each monologue, each 45-minute monologue, and it just reaffirmed what I thought theater could be.
Right.
And so when I think about theater, that's the style I like to hold true. The musical theater stuff, which I've done, I can sing, I can do it. It's just, I don't know. It always comes across as cheesy and kind of BS.
Because I don't want to be bar guy number 2, and so, people are like, why don't you do the movies? Why don't you act anymore? Because the parts that I get offered, I don't want to do them. And I'd rather go grab a piece of paper and grab my phone. I'd rather go shoot something like that. That's fun for me. And then at the end of all this time and this creative stuff, then all I get from someone's like, it doesn't make any sense. And I'm like,
those are the people that aren't even doing it.
Yeah.
It's always the people that criticize the most that are doing the least. Yeah. So it's really kind of,
So, but anyways, La La Land still. I mean,
I enjoy La La Land.
La La Land. I own La La Land, and I got love for La La Land. I still hate that opening freaking dance sequence. It's stupid. I hate those kind of musicals.
I still want to shoot a short on the track system where we just do
the same thing.
You know what I mean? Just have one guy get up
and don't tell the rest of the people on the train that we're doing
funny.
it.
Like, it's a Sunday, and just have another person jump up. Bloody Sunday.
Anyways,
get like one of your like really famous talented singer actors that like know what they're doing, and then just kind of
like Marge.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Marge used to sing all the time, and we used to give her such a hard time. We were such jerks to her because she could sing, but we were so stinking mean to her that I think that
we were mean to each and every one.
This is what we do, That's how come. But anyways, and so then let's see. So
Real Steel.
Real Steel. Were you able to
Hugh
find
Jackman.
it? Were you able? Because
That's a good movie.
Like, so if we were going to talk Real Steel, you'd have to follow the director. You couldn't say, well, Hugh Jackman was also in, and I like. And I'm like, no, you don't get to follow that line. But this movie shouldn't be good. This movie shouldn't be like one of those movies at 43 where I still watch it and go, yeah,
No, it shouldn't be.
You feel
it's
good.
a cheesy.
It's about robots beating each other
It's not
up.
even like a creative storyline.
Well, I think to his credit, there are a lot of dad elements
it
to it.
totally is. That's the same. I had Chef last week.
So I watch it and I kind of go like, okay, that's a good movie. I like
And
it.
when
but
it
he's
came
over here
out-
crying like a little girl.
Well, when it came out, just like the same time Chef came out, that's how old Talon was that age.
Yeah.
And, I'm just kind of
Evangeline
going, I'm kind
Lilly.
of getting the divorce isn't new anymore, and
Yeah.
you'd like to see my kid
Trying to be a
more,
cool dad.
And all those things were
And
ring
fight for
true.
your kids'
and
love.
Fighting with the ex-wife, and I'm like, the best thing, if anyone's out there and you're fighting, even if it's a pain in your butt, find a way to figure it out, because you're not going to win the fight, and all they're going to do is just fight more. Figure it out, because all it does is it means you can't see your kids. And
Yeah,
I'm like,
that's the whole point of Marriage Story.
Best
Good
thing I
lesson.
did is figure it out with my ex-wife, and became great friends now. We're
I'm
great
surprised you
friends.
didn't like Marriage Story.
None of
Well,
that was
because
true.
you
None
know
of it
that you-
happened. That's why. 'Cause
Marriage,
the
my
he
problem,
cut himself was right. The rest of it was all made up story that didn't happen.
marriage is the number one cause of divorce, and
Yeah.
anything that causes divorce is something I'm against.
But Real Steel is a cheesy, terrible story about a robot that they find in a junkyard.
Yeah.
That they put an AI into, basically, that that motion sensor thing,
Mm-hmm.
and because what he was made for is to get the crap kicked out of him.
Yep. And he
Well,
takes
and
him
it was a project for his dad and him to work on. It
It's
was
like
a bonding
the- yeah,
experience.
just like
Like,
you got
like
the-
Chef.
You got
Yeah.
that like build a car moment, like
Yeah.
kind of basic, the basic
And
when you see
they went from arguing and everything to the happy little.
I mean, Iron. Have you seen Iron Giant? That
Oh, I
made me
love
cry.
Iron-
That was
I
the
love Iron
first
Giant.
cartoon that I ever walked away going, "Whoo, oh my goodness!"
I love Iron Giant. It's one of my favorite
I own
movies of
Iron
all time.
Giant too. I bought it when you picked it. You
Yep.
picked it a lot of wine. So I'm just more than anything because I was already picked the Chef, and so it's not one of those movies that we need to go because it's not. All I got to tell you, I just told you.
Invigorating
Yeah,
and-
that's
I
exactly.
enjoyed it because I'm a chef,
Yeah.
and it really did teach you how to be a chef.
Well,
They were really.
Chef isn't as good now as it was back then, but that's still that molten lava scene is still hilarious.
Well, Chef's
It's
dated
Walter.
because Twitter's like and everything's kind of updated
Yeah.
and stuff. It's like, oh, that's definitely old. But we're running
Yeah, we're out
long,
of time.
so
That's what I was
let's
saying.
do our challenges and then.
So
get
I'm
on.
gonna do one that I haven't done before in a
What's
way
the
because
idea?
I haven't done any foreign films.
Oh, wow.
But
Okay.
it's not a foreign film necessarily because if I want to do, I'm going to let you decide. There's two versions of Oldboy. There's
Oh,
the
yeah.
original Oldboy, which I believe is Korean,
Yeah,
and then there's the new one with Josh Brolin.
yeah, and little one of the twins.
Yeah,
from,
the Olsen.
Olsen.
Yeah.
Yeah, their little sister.
Yeah.
She's awesome.
Elizabeth.
Yeah,
Olsen?
Elizabeth Olsen. That's
So-
one of her first movies.
Just
Yeah.
a warning: there is nudity.
Yeah, there's nudity.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you can watch you can watch the one and watch the subtitle ones, and it's more graphic, but it doesn't. I don't think it has nudity in it.
You know what? The old one's it's
And
good.
don't say it with next week. Don't bring
Yeah.
it. That's what we don't talk about them yet.
I'm just gonna say it's good, but
yeah.
I think the Josh Brolin version is my
And well,
favorite.
that's the debate. Is
All right. Well, I'll watch the one with Josh.
Watch them
Brolin.
both.
yeah,
Watch the one with
Josh Brolin's got.
But it's probably
movies-
easier to find.
Yeah, it's
Probably.
it's a lot easier. But the first the original one actually is rated higher. If you look at it, it's actually got better reviews. Yeah.
Speaking of better reviews, the movie I'm giving you is the most reviewed 100% movie on Rotten Tomatoes.
Shawshank Redemption.
And it was one of the first movies. It's the sequel to a movie that I gave you a long time ago.
Toy Story 2.
It is Paddington 2.
Ow!
Pat-
You can't. The biggest problem you give me, Paddington, it was right after we saw The Shape of Water, so I saw her naked, and now I'm trying to watch her as a mom like the next week, and it just didn't work.
But yeah, Paddington 2 is
It
the
was your
highest,
fault.
the most reviewed
Oh,
movie,
geez.
still at
Paddington.
100%
I don't
on Rotten
get it.
Tomatoes. You know what Rotten Tomatoes. It's basically
Yeah,
if
I
you
know.
like the
Oh, I
movie,
know.
you didn't
Yeah,
like the
yeah.
movie.
You're not
Yeah.
watching that at my house.
I don't. I got my own place for another month, dude.
I absolutely
it's
love
so
Paddington.
clean.
You can watch Paddington Bear
so
in
nice.
nothing but socks.
Like, not only am I just like cleaning up because it needs to be cleaned and doing everything, but I'm like every drawer.
He reminds me of my dog.
If it can move, I'm moving it away and like cleaning it. And like Emily was like, "Well, just take that stuff and put it in the boys' room, and I'll take care of it later." And I'm all like, "That's not gonna work." And she's like, "Why not?" I'm like, "Because going into the boys' room next."
So, Paddington 2.
All right, Electric Boogaloo.
You're gonna love it.
Oh, no, I won't, because she has a stupid hat with a jam sandwich in it.
It's, marmalade. But
Have you guys seen Soldier? I'm just going to put that out there.
Soldier, no.
I have a theory about Soldier. It's the original sequel to Blade Runner.
Really?
Yep, and I could show you exact reasons why.
I guess we don't have time for that, but I'm interested in those theories. Yeah.
What is Soldier?
Soldier's Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell.
A lot of people he gets overlooked a lot. Kurt Russell.
I like Kurt Russell.
He's had a 50-year career. No lulls.
No, I mean no, but in this one he's kind of he pulls like a very kind of Clint Eastwood silent type.
Yeah,
very well done.
He's got the flat top, but
it got overlooked. You probably never heard of it.
Yeah.
But it's one that I would recommend. It's my
I
one
knew
time.
exactly what it was.
Let's go home.
Yeah, I'm home.